so this individual I don't know very well, but today I got the rare opportunity to go on a bike ride with him, and Dan Hughes and Josh Weinberg and I all got to ride back with someone that has been deeply legendary in my mind because of the things that I know that they were doing before I was even alive on this planet. And maybe a lot of you that are involved were not alive while this man was thinking, hey, you know what? It'd be pretty sick to ride these steel, very rigid, very terribly fitting, poor geared mountain bikes, 26-inch, out on these dirt roads in the Flint Hills and create an iconic event that has scared me since the moment that I've ever heard the name, and that event is called the Flint Hills Death Ride. If you don't know about the Flint Hills Death Ride, this was in 80 to 90, depends on the year, how long it was, in the middle of August, I believe. So, the first weekend of August, thank you for correcting. First week, hot, we're talking hot, people. Hot as hell, that's hot. In the Flint Hills, no support, correct? There was SAG. They were talking about it today on the ride. Pretzels, oranges, yes. All the things that are good. Pioneers. These people were pioneers, and they were doing this, laying literally the foundation for the fabric of what we are all now doing with people coming from, 60, 70 countries to be here this weekend, every single state. This man was doing it first and alongside his wonderful bride. Tell me your name, I forgot. Carol. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names sometimes. Okay, promoter, storyteller, innovator, rotor, John Hobbs. While the task of deciding exactly when or where the modern gravel era started, it's clear that John Hobbs was an early visionary in the sport. As far back as the mid-1980s, Hobbs was hosting formal rough road rides in the southern Flint Hills of Kansas. Hobbs worked in a variety of local bike shops in Wichita and Newton, Kansas, where he witnessed the popularity of mountain biking explode firsthand. But his location in the Flint Hills region of eastern Kansas gave him easy access to an almost unlimited supply of incredible gravel and dirt roads. As the rest of the world was struggling to wrap their arms around the mountain bike, Hobbs was already on to the next big thing. He saw the potential of Flint Hills gravel as a very desirable place to ride bicycles, not just for himself, but for others. Buoyed by the local success of his rough road rides, Hobbs began promoting a ride out of Matfield, Kansas, called the Matfield Green 100K. This evolved into the infamous Flint Hills Death Ride, an event that was known for being rougher than most mountain bike races. Largely credited as one of the first modern-era gravel road events, the Flint Hills Death Ride was a 100K test of endurance and self-sufficiency. The event's long run from 1989 to 2001 under Hobbs, then from 2002 to 2011 under new leadership, often attracted more than 600 riders at its peak. The success of the Flint Hills Death Ride proved that cyclists wanted to explore beyond paved roads onto roads less traveled. In a 2016 article in Sports Illustrated magazine, dude, that's sick. Hobbs shared his impetus for starting his gravel events in Kansas. We got tired of reading how truly epic rides were only in places like California and Colorado, Hobbs said. So we set up a ride that we knew that even under good conditions would test you, and under bad conditions would be nearly impossible. I concur, yes. I understand. In fact, it was the challenge and success of the Flint Hills Death Ride that inspired a group in Emporia, Kansas to create the DK200/Unbound Gravel 2005. Hobbs chartered and pioneered new routes for cyclists that previously were only known to farmers, ranchers, and cattle. He was clearly one pedal stroke ahead of the rest of the pack in recognizing not just the utility of gravel roads, but the underappreciated beauty of areas unknown to most. Through Hobbs' efforts, Countless cyclists were exposed to cycling on Flint Hills gravel roads, a region that today is recognized worldwide as the premier gravel cycling destination. John, I think I say for everyone here, thank you for pioneering what we all now love so much that has shaped our lives in so many ways. You are absolutely more than deserving for this award, and it is my honor. Please welcome 2025 Hall of Fame inductee, the one and the only John Hobbs. Seriously.
I have notes. Let's see how this works. Oh my. Heads up! Hey, it worked. All the Death Ride alumni who are here are quite familiar with that phrase because that's how we started every one of our riders' meetings before we sent them out on the course. And you had to pay attention at the riders' meeting because we discussed map changes, route hazards, relocated water stops, really important stuff. And it made for a very long day if you missed the meeting or if you did not pay attention. And I would like to believe what we're going to cover here now is really important stuff. First of all, thank you. I am deeply honored. It's sucks to get nervous. I have often used variations of the quote attributed to a guy by the name of Father Strickland. A man may do an immense deal of credit. Well, a man may do an immense deal of good if he does not care who gets the credit for it. And indeed, the joy that was the Flint Hills Death Ride wasn't because we were trying to create an event. It was the result of a collective effort by incredible individuals to do something challenging and have a good time doing it. But there are specific people who I need to thank. And in no particular order, Bobby Smith, Dan Hughes, Leland Danes. You guys are in the game early to get me into the Hall of Fame, and you need to know how deeply appreciative I am. And then there's the folks who actually made that decision. Thank you. You have validated my contribution to this idea that, yeah, you can ride a bicycle in Flint Hills and it'll be fun, damn it. And Dan, where are you? All right, I've got a story about you. We're going to have a beer sometime so I can figure out if it's true or not, okay? And for no other reason than I'd really like to know who I'm talking to, if you are any of the alumni of the Gap and the Map rides, the Rough Road rides, the Matfield Green 100K, or the Flint Hills Death Ride, I'd like you guys to stand, or women stand. Come on, get up if you were doing it. Yeah, we got them. We got them. Thank you.
And it wasn't 100K.
Well, sort of.
It was more like 80.
Well, it all depended how the GPS read out. And it was never the same twice. When I was a kid growing up in Nebraska, we got taught a lot about true pioneers. You folks are the real thing. We don't have to wonder or imagine what a pioneer looks like. You just look at these people who stood here because they were the first. They had no idea, neither did we for that matter, and did these things. All of what we see and have here today is a result of you stepping up and one flashing moment of grand insanity said, yeah, that sounds like fun. Let's go. And off we went. Grand insanity indeed. One of the nicest compliments I ever received was from Wes Jackson of the Land Institute. He met us at the old schoolhouse in Matfield Green after one of the rides, and after chatting about where we had ridden and where we had gone, he looks at me and says, you know you guys are crazy, right? Yes, sir, we are. It's a love story, really. You've got to love this thing that we do. It's too hard to accomplish any other way. there are too many rough patches, too much hardship, too much uncertainty, too much despair. It's that we unconditionally love it that allows us to do these things, doing what needs to be done. What we engage in here is truly a human experience. It's love that makes you hand that extra water bottle to that person who did not listen at the writer meeting and ran out of water some on the other side of Texaco Hill. It's love that entices a diminutive, little, inner-city girl from Michigan, no less, which is nothing like Kansas, to load up a 1978 microbus with 4 very active children. Load that bus with water, as she said, 40 gallons of water, bananas, oranges, pretzels, and follow a bunch of wild, raving biker types and have fun doing it. Right there she is, my beloved. There are people who are alive today who would not be if not for the command and control she brought to the events that we did. And it's love that makes that happen. It's love that made an older woman last year at the end of her 200-mile route take one look at my oldest son trying to finish the 350 XL and in serious trouble, say to herself, that boy needs help. And he did. And she helped pull him into the finish, and we never got to say thank you. But you folks know the drill. You don't do those things because of the possibility of aggrandizement. You do them out of love. Basic, fundamental human love for yourselves and for each other. Effort like this is not possible any other way. It's love that makes folks like Mike Bryant and Pat Long of Lawrence, Kansas stick with this. Mike is credited with coining the term Flint Hills Death Ride, though at the time he was cursing about a particularly muddy section of the course. To anyone within earshot saying, this is no expletive-deleted bike ride, it's a expletive-deleted death march. And the name stuck, thanks to you Lawrence, Kansas folks. Pat did all the artwork for our t-shirts. We've got some in the crowd today. And I believe the rest of them are over at the museum. I do not use the word art loosely when describing her drawings. And again, the only way you produce stuff like that is because you love what it is. And they are on display, right? Okay, good deal. It's love that made all the volunteers and the families that came out and supported anyone they thought needed it. No questions asked. We had families come up from Oklahoma whose logistic prowess left me in awe. Oh, God, we love doing this, was the reply of one of the women in that group when I mentioned that we appreciated the amount of effort and investment that they brought with them on those rides. It's love that made Death Ride volunteers like Kent Stanzel of Wichita, who demanded that I let him run the Camp Creek Sag Stop. He absolutely loved doing it, and he loved the people that he helped there. And he was no stranger to what was required. He was a longtime veteran of the Biker Cross Kansas events and helped us on multiple rides. He knew what he was getting into. There was no soft comfort of illusion. To quote Henry Shakespeare's Henry V, once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. It's love that drives all of this community, this tribe, this family. And like any human group of more than 2 people, there is a corresponding competition, stress, different visions, different goals, all of that which goes into making an active human experience. And one of the problems is we really don't have a language for what it is that we do. But I have to say, we do a pretty good job of moving this ball of human experience forward. And forward we will go. I have long noted that there is no reverse gear on a multi-geared bicycle. I'm sure you can back pedal a fixie and go in the opposite direction, but you still have to pedal in that direction. This weekend we got asked about how many riders do we have this week in total? 5,000 riders, individually empowered cyclists who will mount their machines, take one hard look at the road ahead and the weather, flip that I can do this switch in the back of their heads, and go. For them, there is no reverse. It's either forward to the finish, forward through a shortcut, forward back to the start, or forward in the back of someone's support vehicle. You move forward in the knowledge about yourself. You move forward in what you learn about your machine. You learn forward about what to eat, what not to eat. You learn about water and what it's like not to have enough. Or if it's a wet year, too much. You learn about these humans you're with. I had a local rancher tell me once that the Flint Hills was way too hard a country for any dishonest person to last for very long. And I believe that to be true. And you have to love it or you simply won't do it. The Kansas state motto is pretty short. Ad aspera per aspera, which roughly translates to the stars through difficulties. And I don't think there's any Latin phrase for Flint Hills. It does sum up very well what gravel riders are all about. We know where we want to go, we know that it will be difficult, and we know that we love doing it. And we love the people we are with. Be safe, be smart, and have fun. Thank you.